welcome to the weekly review of Serak. I am Sean Keenan Torres Sr. And of course, I am joined along with.
And it's your boy, Serak the Mike. Damn, it's a new month.
Yes, it is. It is a new month. It's June, start of the rainy season here in Florida. You know what that means. We're about to have floods everywhere for a little while.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's also Pride Month too. So shout out to, the community. I can never get all the letters right in a row because I always bite my tongue. Say it for me.
LGBTQ.
Yeah, but then like that LGB, like in my mind, I kind of want to say like KGB, but I know I shouldn't. You know what I mean? It's just like, my neurons are making the wrong connections right now. So, but yeah, man, Pride Month. Tampa's a huge community of,
Oh yeah. I was actually in the Pride Parade last week. We had one, not this past weekend. This past weekend it was the Hero Parade, but the weekend prior to that was the Tampa Pride Parade in Ybor. It was a fun time. I have to admit, it was nice to see a lot of people out there getting back out there.
Right.
But it was small because even though people knew, not a lot of people came out. I guess because of the first one.
That was the first Pride Parade?
It was the first real parade.
Oh, yeah.
First COVID. Sanctioned parade since COVID.
Right.
So not a lot of people came out, but I won't say not a lot of people. A lot of people came out, but compared to other parades that we have had,
it
wasn't
as big. Okay, but that's okay. I'm sure next year.
That's just the first year. That's his first year. So how was your weekend, man?
My weekend was fucking long and busy. Yeah, man. It's Memorial Day weekend's always it's just, I don't know, like it's just like people like multiply somehow on the weekends. Is during the week, I know people got to work and stuff like that, and don't really go out as much, but I don't know,
hiding
man.
During the week. That's what's going on. They're hiding.
It's when you hear like sizes of groups of people, right? You say, 100 people went to this, or 1,000 people went to this event. Like for some reason, like when I hear like that, I'm like, that's probably not that many people. But when you working and like, it's just people were like just falling out of the sky. It was crazy. It was so busy. I was like, there's no way in hell this many people live here or even live in the region. But then again, people come from out of town for Memorial Weekend. So it was fun. It was busy, but I'm glad it's only once a year.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm glad Memorial Day is only once a year as well. Of course, Memorial Day is in remembrance of our soldiers,
so what is Veterans Day,
sailors who have lost their lives. So here's the difference, and here's where a lot of people get confused. Veterans Day is for those who have served. So it's for everyone who has served that is still here and gone. So it's everybody. Okay. Memorial Day is for the ones who have lost their lives, mostly in service to the country.
Okay, so you don't want to be remembered for Memorial Day as a U.S. military member. You want to be remembered for Veterans Day, right?
Well, yes and no, because if you were killed in line of duty, then that's seen as the ultimate patriotism that you can possibly give, because you literally gave your life in service to the country. That's why it's such a big day. And of course, as well as I do, growing up, that it went from a tribute to veterans, or to veterans who passed away, to, hey, what sale can we get in this weekend? What sale can we get in next? Right. What sale is this? What sale is that? And that's all it is now. It's just like any other holiday. It's been commercialized, and the actual meaning has been lost.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of like, over the weekend, like, I'm not a veteran. the only thing I've served in is Call of Duty, and I've died plenty of times in Call of Duty. But yeah, it's just like, I feel like people are just out, just really celebrating not having to work. you know what I mean? Like, it's just like a lot of times you lose the whole reason behind the holiday. And with that being said, they might as well just like, I think everybody will be okay if they just had federal holidays that's just like, hey, it's a drinking holiday. Like, it's just like, how you got St. Patty's Day, but it actually means something in Ireland. But just have a holiday that's just like, yo, this is the get fucked up holiday. That's the name of the holiday.
Technically, and I'm going to catch flack for this, but New Year's Eve drinking holiday.
Uh-huh.
New Year's Eve drinking holiday. 4th of July, granted, it's the celebration of the birth of the country. It still is a drinking holiday. I mean, those are two of the biggest drinking holidays I know of, besides St. Patty's. And then you throw St. Patty's in, and yes, it's regarding the actual St. Patrick. That's where it comes from in Ireland. Mm-hmm. But here,
it's so weird, right?
It's not seen as that. It's seen as, hey, let's dye everything green and get as drunk as possible.
Yeah,
and that's just what it is.
Isn't that weird though? Like, if you think about if you're Irish in Ireland and you're just like, what are they doing over there? Like, why are they? This has nothing. This literally has nothing to do with
Americans. Yeah. Unless you're of Irish descent, Yeah. And then there's plenty of Americans from Irish descent, but unless you're of Irish descent.
Exactly. And if I was Irish, I would just go to Ireland for the holiday. I mean, whatever, make a trip out of it.
Okay. And then you have the one, and we just had it this past month. That's not really a recognized holiday by the government, but it is recognized by everybody else. And that's Cinco de Mayo, which is a drinking holiday.
Jesus. Yeah, I guess you're right. They just can't legally probably say just drink, we gotta change the name, but it's the same thing. Oh man. So what we got today? What we got on the rundown today?
On the rundown today, go ahead and jump into it. Well, before we jump into it, so today we're gonna be discussing Naomi Osaka, how she has taken a lead from competition to adjust for news conferences and her interaction with them. Okay. We have our governor, Ron Desantis, has signed the Fairness in Women's Sports Act. It is seen as an anti-trans, pro-woman bill. Everyone has their own opinion on that. We're going to be discussing Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather coming up this month. A lot of people didn't want to see this fight, but now that it's happening, let's see a fight.
Yeah, I'm ready.
And then of course we have WTFlorida, and if we have time, we got some other couple news stories. But those are, for the most part, that is our top stories.
Perfect.
That we'll be jumping into today.
So Naomi.
With that said, let's jump right into Naomi Osaka.
So go ahead.
I kind of watched Naomi because I wasn't a big Serena Venus Williams fan. I was a fan of them.
What?
Yeah, no, hear me out. Let me finish.
All right.
I was a fan of them. And don't get me wrong, I think as far as world of women's tennis goes, they've changed the game. And so I was a fan of them. But I saw them as a means to an end, basically. They were the means to get more African-American women involved in the sport. That wasn't their intent, but that's what they did.
Yeah, there always has to be like someone who breaks the seal, pretty much.
Right. And with Naomi Osaka, when she came about, and the reason why I kind of started following her was she was young. They were all young, but she was young, but opinionated, and she had her own set of rules coming into it. Versus where Serena Venus, they had to go by the rules set, the standards and rules set before them by other members of the tennis organization, organization. Whereas Naomi, she got to look to Serena and Venus like, oh, they've changed the game. I can be myself now versus being who they want me to be. I can be who I am and still compete at the highest levels in this game, which is how I see Naomi Osaka. So that's how I see her. Now, she has the issue right now, and it's an issue that's not just affecting her, but she's the loudest person speaking up about it. And that's the fact that she has taken a break from tennis competitions because it wasn't that she wanted to take a break. She took a break because she was forced to. She was forced to because the governing body of the tennis organization in France told her, or I say allegedly France, it could have been England. I forget that place.
Somewhere over Europe, talking shit.
That she was not allowed to play unless she conducts the interviews.
So kind of like a Marshawn Lynch type of deal.
Yeah. And so she has came out heavily and said that her mental health is more important than winning a competition or speaking to the press.
That's very true. Very
So
true.
she took it back. And this is a part of her statement. This is a part of Naomi Osaka's statement recently given to it's actually what LA Times has quoted her saying, "I never wanted to be a distraction, and I accept that my timing was not ideal and my message could have been clearer. I would never trivialize mental health or use the term lightly." So a lot of people are using this to say, oh, okay, she's just trying to cheat
Right.
by not doing the conferences and using that time as
You shouldn't even
practice
have
or the
you shouldn't even
rest.
have to do those. Like, I know it's like probably like your contract or whatever, but it's just like, especially after you lose, like, can you imagine? Like, so how, like, so you got beat pretty bad, and we want to know, like, what were you thinking when you went up against this person? It's just, it's too much pressure. And she's only 23 years old, and it's like, I get it. Like, it comes with
She's
the
not a child,
territory.
but she is definitely a young adult just learning her way in the way
Yeah.
things are done.
And like Serena and Venus at her age, yes, you had to deal with media. Yes, you got a lot of attention, but these days it's almost like, it's tenfold. It's way worse than it is. You got all these other social media outlets. You got, the world is like watching everything you do, Twitter, all this, so on and so forth. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the pressure of being she's number one, right? The number one, female tennis player in the world. And
I think she's ranked number one currently.
yeah, and I mean, she has every right to, she doesn't have to play. She doesn't have to play in these tournaments. What I mean? Like, you got to protect. I agree with 100%, man. You got to protect your mental health because, even her, like, just reading some of, the articles and, comments and on social media, like the fact that people are like telling her to suck it up. Like, like even like saying, like, imagine like saying like, yo, man, I'm out of it. Like, or I'm struggling with my mental health. And someone told you to suck it up, like, and entertain them some more. Like,
and that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? It's not that, exactly, I tried to say this correctly. The people, the fan, not even gonna call it, the people who are saying these things, who are saying suck it up, play on, are the same ones who told Colin Kaepernick, hey, suck it up. Sports is about sports. It's not about speaking out. It's those same people. And these people have jobs, so hopefully most of them. And if they have a bad day at work, they go home and talk to their loved one or someone else, or go get a beer.
Right. They're not being pressured.
No,
and they're able to go get a beer without not like half 90% of the people at the bar knowing what happened. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like, your bad day is now published out there, and you're being asked about it repeatedly. Now, yes, I think that you should have to give a post match interview, but it doesn't have to be the way they do it. They want to do it almost immediately after they come off the court or off the field. That's the wrong way. It's not football. And I even think even in football, the way they do it is still a little,
and it's
too oppressive.
It's weird because even in tennis though, like it's one-on-one most of the time. And it's like, what happened. We're all watching, you lost, you missed this, you had some mistakes. That's fine. Like, I never like watch a post game interview expecting them to say something like, oh, a bug flew in my eyes while we lost. Like, it's what are they going to say? That's, I'm going to be like, oh shit, I didn't expect that to happen. Or I'm looking forward to the post game interview. It's
a lot of times, and a lot of times they won't even know until they watch the film themselves after the fact.
Right.
So they're not going to sit there, come off the court, watch the film, and then come to your news conference. No, they're going to do the competition, come off, jump into your news conference because that's written into most of their contracts, and then watch the film and actually come to a better understanding of what happened and a better idea of where they messed up at, if they messed up. Sometimes the other person is just a better player.
Yeah. It happens. Hey, I lost. They played better than me.
Yeah.
I made some mistakes. I was tired. I don't know. I ate a cheeseburger too late at night. I don't know. It's
so let me ask you this. How do you feel about basketball and football doing the post?
The post?
Immediately after, or instead of waiting some hours at least.
That's tough because they really, like I said, I feel like what they're gonna say already. And I think a lot of times the media and like I said, most of the time it's in their contract anyway, so they kind of have to do it, but it's like they're looking for, drama. They're waiting for a player to say, oh, I didn't agree with what coach did, just to stir up some. I mean, it's all entertainment. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment. That's what sucks about sports is it's starting to shift from, and I mean, it already is, to be honest, but like it went from really competing to now competing and entertaining. It's like 50-50. It's like, yeah, we want to see one team beat the other, but the other side, we also want to be equally entertained, and we want to deal with it's like a movie, man. It's Hollywood. It pretty much is, and unfortunately, that's what it's gonna that's eventually it's gonna get worse, and that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be, you know, we don't care if you win or lose, who can entertain us the most. Like for instance, trying to think of an example of that. What's a team or a player that team is garbage, never win, but I guess their personality is entertaining after the fact.
Let's see who we got here. I mean, there's teams out there. Garbage team right now. Let's go to our the ones that we know. Let's go to football. Miami Dolphins.
Garbage. Yeah, they suck. They suck. Yeah, they suck. Sorry if you're a Miami Dolphins fan. But remember they had the Fitzpatrick, right? Remember they had that whole ordeal with, they didn't care if they won or lost. Yeah. They just wanted to interview him afterwards. Hey, why'd you grow the beard?
And that's the questions they ask. They ask very lighthearted questions sometimes. A lot of times to like their favorite players.
Right.
But if you're not considered a favorite player, or if you are in a region that is not your region, so like in Naomi Osaka's case, she's in Europe playing in this and not in America, so she has to deal with the European questions, which they have not had the same.
Did you drink
civil rights questions?
Did you have tea before the match?
Tea it would
before or after?
Yeah. But then they scrutinize everything that she says or does and wears, including all the way up to the skirt, shoes,
can you imagine
and everything else she has on.
Like you can't even you can't even you wear a t-shirt, that says, oh my God. I mean that's, but that comes with, like I said, that comes with being number one. That comes with being the best, or being, one of the best is, people are gonna prey on your downfall and want you to, and that's just so weird though, right? Because you don't even know the fucking person. It's just like, I hope they do bad, or I hope they do, hope they break a leg. Like, man, like, do you really hope they break a leg? It's terrible. Oh man.
No, I agree with you. So, I think since she, like you said, she's young. I think, like you said, she's what, 22, 23. So she'll find her groove.
Right.
I don't think post-match interviews are going away anytime soon, just because that's what most people like. It's not what most people like to see, but it's what most people expect to see. So because that's expected and it's written in contracts, I don't see that going anytime soon.
Right. Do you think it's because, and I kind of thought about this too, but do you think it's kind of because of her age too? Right. Like, do you think because, like if you talk to somebody, I don't know, older person, old head, like, oh man, they these, athletes today are wussies, or they can't handle it or stuff like that. Do you think that plays into a role? Like maybe she's just young and, and just hasn't, not mentally tough, I guess.
She's mentally tough, but I do think age has to do with it, because she hasn't had to deal with this. She went from almost obscurity, she definitely was not pure obscurity, but she went from almost obscurity, in high school, to becoming top of her game going into college, and then of course in college, and then coming to play the top people in the sport coming out of college.
Right.
So she's new to all of this. She hasn't had the experience to deal with it. A lot of like basketball players, football players, they start getting interviewed in college. Hey, you're seen as the best. You're seen as this.
Right.
Talk to me, and they get that practice and getting used to interviews. They at college, they're doing it in high school. So they don't do it for tennis players. They don't do it for golf players. They don't do it for, the only sports I know they do this is football and basketball, and that's for high school going up. I think it should be a practice that if you're playing in a sport, you need to get used to giving interviews.
Yeah.
And
it's part of the process, right? People want to know, because I mean, I guess back in the day, when not everything was televised, where, it was more, you got your information from the newspaper and, and journalists and stuff like that. in the newspaper. So you kind of had to do it to explain like, what happened and stuff like that. But now, like, it's a click of a button. We can literally watch what's going on live, or, replays, or on YouTube of like what happened. So we don't really need the perspective from the player or how they feel. I mean, if you're an athlete, you should know how they feel regardless. So, I mean, I don't know. I like her, and I do like that other athletes in different sports are supporting her. However, I hate that she had to like come out like that for them to support her. And no one really, besides Serena Williams, not a lot of people from like the tennis community are, from what I've seen. I mean, maybe they are privately, I don't know, but you would think that the majority of tennis players would be like, hey man, or excuse me, hey Naomi, we support, how you feel, and we feel the same way type deal.
Yeah, and you want to see that but unfortunately, as we learned with Colin Kaepernick, and we learned with some of the other athletes who have difficulties, team members who are supposed to be on your team like to get ghosts when it comes to contracts and money's on the line. They don't like to put their name out there like, that's your money. That's
they be like, hey ESPN. I mean, if she don't do it, I'll do the post game. How much? Hell yeah.
And that's exactly it. That's exactly true.
I put the top spin on the ball, and I knew he wasn't going to hit it. And then I learned this in ping pong, so that's how I won. Anyway, pay me my money. I'm out of here.
Yep, that's it.
Right.
That's exactly true, man. That's exactly how it goes.
All
right. But
what we got?
Speaking of that, I kind of what you said a moment ago really run true when it comes to entertainment.
What's up?
Really overtaking the sports business. Now, granted, sports industry is entertainment, but now you have other entertainment like YouTube and all the other stuff. We have YouTube stars like Jake Paul and his little brother Logan.
YouTube's the future. I keep telling people it's the future. It's the future.
But now you have a guy who is about to fight the literal top in the boxing community.
Considered one of the greatest.
Who worked his way, considered one of the greatest, who worked his way up from the bottom to the top boxing. Now you have this guy, Jake Paul, who's got 2 matches? None of them have been pro matches. And now you get the chance to fight the top of the line fighter. And all these other fighters who've been in line waiting to fight Floyd Mayweather for that title shot don't get those opportunities.
That's like, come on. I mean, it's just like, wouldn't they fight Sunday, right? June 6th?
I think it is Sunday, yes.
I don't know. Like, actually, the rules, or excuse me, what like the match rules that they agreed to had just posted. And I mean, I know they're doing it for the money, obviously. I mean, I don't think Floyd Mayweather I don't think he does anything that's not for the money, but it's just entertainment. But like you said, it's extremely, I mean, if I was a boxer and Floyd Mayweather was like an idol or somebody I watched growing up, and there's a reason you got into boxing or whatever it may be, like, I don't know how I feel about this, because I'd be like, there's probably thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands, I don't know how many boxers there are, who would kill to have a shot at fighting not only a boxer at the top of the boxing chain, but even somebody who's even a professional fighter or new and upcoming. But you mean to tell me that a YouTube star, and I don't not like Logan Paul. I mean, I think he's very smart, and I think like what he's doing, he's the one that's winning, to be honest. Him and his brother, like, as much as people may don't like them or talk bad about them, they are making a ton of money. They are they are manipulating boxing like no other. But besides that, it's just like, man, like,
but there's other YouTube stars out there who could fight, who are not Jake Paul or Logan Paul,
right? But that's
who I think deserves, who I think would give Floyd Mayweather better match. Right. Now, I'm not saying Jake Paul doesn't, but I
don't think Floyd is going to risk like actually like losing. Like if it's 90% chance he wins, 10% chance he loses, excuse me, he'll take that. But if it's like 70-30, it's like, I don't know. Even though he has a great chance to win, it's you don't want to get knocked out on national TV. Yeah, part of the rules is that this won't count as like there will be no winner. It's like no win-loss. So say if he loses, he won't have it on his professional boxing record.
Right. It's not sanctioned professionally. It's an exhibition match, which is how they're billing it and how they're selling it. But
there won't be judges.
But at the same time, you got to understand there won't be any actual judges there, but there will be judges. There's gonna be people counting.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who comment on it, but like, can you imagine like we're the us, the people, are the ones who are literally just paying these people to not even like really try to fight each other, but just to like spar.
And there you go. We're paying. I'm not paying because I'm not about to
I ain't paying this shit.
Me either.
I don't.
But these people are about to pay, was $100 not per person, but per pay-per-view. So you're about to pay $100 to watch a YouTube star and a semi-retired boxer go at it.
Yep.
At half speed. This is not going to be a full speed match by no means.
No.
So they're going to go at half speed, and you're paying to watch this. Come on, man.
They probably have an agreement. Like they probably like are cool. They probably hang out. Like they're probably hanging out right now as we talk. I'm like, hey man, so this is what I was gonna do. So they probably literally remember when I said like everything is switching to like entertainment, sports wise. Now it's just more like just entertainment. So they probably somewhere in Hollywood in the studio working with a professional like choreographer going over like the moves, just like you see a movie in a fight. That's what they're doing right now. Yep,
it's wrestling. It's wrestling 101. Yeah, right now. That's the way I see it. And I grew up loving boxing because it's one of the sports that yes, you can take a fall, but you're still gonna take some damage getting to that point. So it was still a lot more fairness. You could kind of tell if a person was kind of taking a fall because like, hey, look, he barely got hit. How are you falling out? Whereas this isn't even that. This is just entertainment for entertainment's sake. There's no win here. There's
at least like a rigged fight is between two real boxers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Not like just some dude you found on the street who could make a video. It's
exactly it's two boxers who literally you put in time. You have to get golden gloves, which is where every real professional boxer starts off with. You start with golden gloves. To get your golden gloves, you got to do at least 10 actual boxing matches.
Yeah,
with
you got to
fight actual other boxers. And then you go golden gloves. Then you fight other semi-pro boxers. And then you work up to the pro level. This guy, and yes, don't get me wrong. Like I said, like Serak said, I have nothing against Logan or Jake Paul. Make your money. I'm not mad at you. What I'm mad about is all these other fighters who have put in so much work to get to this point, and are getting shunned, compared to.
Do you think that's why like Logan Paul and his brother are not necessarily picking like professional like active fighters? You think they're doing it out of respect for like boxing, to where like they don't want to, you know what I mean? They don't want to. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
People say Jake Paul's a boxer, and I saw some of his highlights, and I won't say he's a boxer, but I will say he's someone who has learned how to box.
I don't know, man.
I won't say he's.
I got gloves in the trunk right now, right? I can put some gloves on, take a few pictures, make a video, and you'll be like, "Oh shit, is that the second coming of Creed?" Like, what's up? you know?
And that's the thing. He's been fighting people who don't really know how to take a punch. You don't know. I mean, and that's boxing is all about punches. You got to be able to take that hit.
Who was the guy? He fought like recently. Like the wrestler. He was a wrestler, right?
Yeah, he was a wrestler. Yeah. And that he does grapples. He's not a boxer. So he's boxing people who, to me, have a glass jaw. Not saying these people are not tough, but compared to the amount of punching power that's probably behind his punches after throwing, at this point, I would hope 10,000 punches.
Yeah.
He's got some power behind there versus these other two who don't.
Yeah. I would hope that I wouldn't say I hope. I'm probably more upset with Floyd. I like Floyd. I respect Floyd just because I mean, I know he's doing it for the money. That's the thing. But I wish they were like, I don't know, playing ping pong for the money. You know what I mean? Like, don't do the sport that
wrong.
Because if you do this, like your reputation as the great, it's just this shit just goes out the window.
Yeah,
you're making a joke out of it. Yeah,
it's falling. Like we suffered through Conor McGregor, but at least Conor McGregor was UFC.
Yeah, I thought that was bad.
I said, but we suffered through. We're like, okay, this is a money grab. But now this, you know, where's the we have hungry boxers who would embarrass Jake Paul, would embarrass him.
But the thing is though, like nobody would pay that much to see that though.
No, not yet, not yet. But give it time, you know, give it time and let him establish himself as the YouTube boxer, which is what he's established himself as.
Did he
YouTube boxing champion, basically.
It wasn't Jake, it was Logan. Didn't he fight what's that dude? That KSI dude?
Yeah.
I never watched that, but who won that?
I think Logan's won everything.
Damn. So okay, so yeah. But you never know. Maybe Logan, maybe they are legit. You know, like that's the thing. Like when the whole world is legitimately. Yeah, but when the whole world is once, like, can you imagine that? Like when hundreds of millions of people want to see you like get beat up,
and for different reasons. Like my reason is I think that other boxers deserve a better shot. I think other boxers should get that shot, should get that title bout. Not Jake Paul, who literally went from making YouTube prank videos to a little bit of streaming, you know, video games, to back to pranks. And his first match was basically a prank match anyway. You know,
this is now, you know whose fault this is. Come on, this is all Nate Robinson's fault. This is all Nate Robinson's fault. If he would have never took this stupid fight, we would have never even we wouldn't be talking about this right now. But Nate Robinson had to get knocked out, and now it's like, you know, now it's a target on Logan's back. But hey, man, somebody got to do it.
Yeah, you know, and someone is going to take Jake Paul to task. You know, I don't know if it's going to be Floyd, because I don't think Floyd is, like you said, I think it's going to be a choreographed match. I think it's because it's happened too quick. Floyd normally takes time to get in shape. He takes from about 6 months to a year.
Yeah, but when you find somebody's not a real, I mean, even if he's real, when you find someone who's not an experienced boxer like you are, he probably just trained for maybe a day or two. You know, not even. He shows up in like his robe, like, all right, let's do this. And now the funny thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if Logan or Jake Paul's next fight is against like Sylvester Stallone or somebody. Or Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, you know, just somebody who got a little bit of boxing experience, you know. So, oh man, but I don't know if I'm gonna watch it.
Manny Alvarez would be a good one. That would be a good one.
Who is that?
Manny Alvarez. Oh, he was a boxer. He beat who did Manny Alvarez beat? But he beat.
Sounds familiar. Like the name sounds familiar, but I don't know. Nah, Logan ain't gonna find nobody that still beat up people. I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not Manny. It's Canelo Alvarez. That's
Canelo Alvarez. Okay. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, man. So that's Sunday at 6 p.m. Yeah.
I thought it was at 9. No, it's. See,
I think it starts
6 p.m. I've got the whole 9 a.m. So I guess it's a whole like.
How many times they played? 3 times?
Exhibition. Here we go. Here we go. According to the Zone, which is the one that's actually putting on the show, it starts at time 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. That's the time of the main card. So the fight starts. The matches start at 6, but the main card is at 8 9.
That's such a weird
8 p.m. 8 p.m.
But a Sunday?
It is.
Maybe that's weird. Because there's probably not going to be any like Sunday night. You know, everybody's at least at home and not out and about doing some other stuff. So
yeah, but most people, once you watch a real boxing match, you're like, oh my God, won! I'm going to get some drinks, celebrate. Not this one. Logan, this was like, he won. Okay, cool, fine.
Listen, I'm not a betting man, but if you bet it on Logan, and one of the Vegas sports books, I mean, the payout has to be like unreal. The odds are unreal. So, anyways, back to Florida.
Back to Florida. So you had some things to discuss with our governor. I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah. So this morning I woke up and went on Facebook, which is a terrible thing to do. The first thing you do, first thing that happens when you wake up. But you got these articles always pop up, and Governor Desantis had signed a transgender athlete bill into law. Basically, you had the better name for it. It was the
So the name of the bill is the Fairness in Women's Sports Act. That's the name of the actual bill.
Yeah.
Fairness in Women's Sports Act.
Basically banning transgender females from competing in women's sports. Okay, you're fine. But not the other way around. So transgender males can still compete in male sports. Is that right? Like I get confused because when I say transgender female, does that mean they were a male first and now they're female, or talk about a female that is a male now?
Okay, so let's do a trans 101 real quick, just a real quick one. So transgender, you got trans male, you got trans female. Trans male means that transgender male means that you started out as a female, and you
so transgender male, you started off as a female.
Yeah, you started as a female, and you've done things to make yourself
you done your time
or appear, look or appear. You know, I don't, because some surgery, some don't, some take hormones, some don't, some just dress the way, and some don't.
Right.
So
right.
you've taken steps to make yourself appear to be male, whereas transgender female is males who've taken any steps to present themselves as female. So that's our 101. Okay. Now with this one, this, like you said, this only applies to transgender females.
Okay, right. Because I mean, we've seen plenty of videos of them competing in sports, female sports, and pretty much just dominating, which I mean, it happens.
Yeah. It happens. Yeah. The video that they used was of the Connecticut. There's a Connecticut track and field team. I believe three women on there were transgender women, and they were blowing away the entire competition. So that's one of the videos they used to sell their point.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I kind of agree with it. Not because I'm not saying, like, I'm not trying to sound like I'm discriminating against any type of, transgender male or female, but like,
it's going to sound that way regardless of what
it is.
No matter what side of this opinion you fall on, this you fall on, you're either gonna be seen as you're discriminating against women, or be seen as you're discriminating against trans women. Either way is a lose-lose.
Yeah. So do you think, like, I mean, what's the solution? A transgender sports league? They would just have their own separate sports? Same sports, but just separate?
I don't have the answer. But I don't have the answer because it's not because I don't have an opinion. I do have an opinion, but I don't have the actual answer. I've seen, and for our show, we spend a lot of time on social media just trying to see what stories are the best, what stories people are paying much attention to, which is this is one of these stories. And on Twitter right now, you have people who, on one issue, they're completely progressive left. They're all about things that the left do, and gay rights and voting rights, discriminatory practice, all that. They're on that side. But the women, I won't say I'll say a lot of the women I've seen on their Twitter handles anyway, have mostly said they are for the bill because it takes away from what they are able to do. And that's the point, isn't it?
Okay.
Because we started the women's leagues because women deserve the same rights as the men counterparts as far as getting scholarships and access to scholarships, access to other academic features, and plus is for your overall health as well. So we started this because these women deserve the same opportunities as their male counterparts.
Right.
But now, according to women's groups, they feel that that the opportunities are being taken away now again by males who are now
females,
who are now transgender females. So on either case, you're gonna be seen as bad. You're gonna be seen as bad. Like me,
maybe you should just
be like one person said that they should have 3 leagues. male league, female league, trans league.
Yeah, I mean, you
One
kind of
person
have to.
said they should just put them all in one, just put everyone in one pot, and the first male, first female, first transgender that wins, then that's the first winners in their categories, regardless of what.
Well, like a wrestling. You pros a little bit. But say it again.
Yeah. Okay. So one person's idea, which a lot of people kind of asked the same question you just did, was put everybody in a pot. Put everybody in a pot. Let's take uh do the Ironman competition. Have you seen the Ironman competition?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So in Ironman competition, you have a whole group of people. They start the males first, then they start the females. Like I want to say 8 minutes
person competition. So you can't
I
say
don't know
Iron
if
Man no more.
I don't know if they changed the name. It's been Iron Man for all. I don't know if they changed the name or not. Because it was a Timex thing. After the watch, but you didn't know that, did you? Didn't know that part, did you? But then they start the woman about 8 minutes later. Well, this one person was saying, well, on just start everybody at the same time. And then whoever finishes, that's the winner, regardless of the sets they are or the sets they claim to be.
Well, the guy's always gonna win. Any type of physical.
Well, yeah, but they're saying then he's the winner of the guys, and then when the female wins, she's the winner of the females, and when this transgender person wins, then they're the winner of the transgender.
Oh, okay.
That's still gonna be wrong, because then you're putting all transgender males and females in the same boat. So now you have
so you would have to have a transgender male and a transgender female, then a men's and women's. You would have to have 4 different
categories.
But then again, there will also have to be enough transgenders to I don't know how many people are transgender out there, but like it would have to be enough to where it can sustain a sports league.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably the best decision, even though you don't want to label people differently. But at the end of the day, I mean, sports it's competition, man. You're competing, you know what you're getting into. What it takes, what's required. Yeah, I mean I think that eventually it'll have to be like that. You're gonna have a women's league, you're gonna have a transgender men league, you're gonna have a transgender woman league, and you're also gonna have a men's league. And yeah, I mean,
as a father of both a daughter and a son, my son's the oldest, but as a father, if my daughter played sports and she had to go up against male, my height, my size. Okay, let me rephrase that. If my daughter played sports and she had to go up against a transgender female that was my height, my size, I'd be pissed because that's completely unfair, in my opinion, to my daughter, who's trained and worked her entire life to get to this point, and she's blown everyone else out the water away except for the one transgender female. How's that fair?
Yeah, I see. But it's only an issue in physically, like football.
But I mean,
not football, but like basketball and volleyball. Those type of sports where physically, if you are in great shape, you'll do well. But nothing like golf. Like that's a even playing field, pretty much.
No.
I mean, men can usually hit harder and drive the ball further, but same concept.
It still has to do with your muscle mass, muscle density, bone density. All that plays in the part. Any sport that requires any physical action. So noise on that. I'm taking out.
What about like bowling?
That's what I'm taking out. Bowling, it doesn't require much of a physical action, but even then, the men's bowling leagues most times outdo the women's bowling leagues because there's a strength factor in there. Strength has a lot to do with any of this, and it's just the chemical makeup. But now, if I was a parent of the transgender female, I would also be pissed that my child does not have the opportunity to play sports. So I can see both sides of this coin.
I mean, they can compete in men's sports, but
where they're going to be picked on because they're different from the other men, and then also picked on again because they are not they're not seen as physically able as the other males that are out there. I'm not going to say they're counterparts because she is now identifying as a female,
Right.
but they're still gonna be seen as differently and less than. So, like I said, both sides of this coin, there's no easy answer to this. There
Right.
really isn't, because someone's gonna be
I know you can't really like deny
disappointed.
someone from wanting to come play sports,
No,
like that'd be
you
that would
want
be
people to play
wouldn't that be the
sports.
worst? Like, hey, you can't play because we don't
Know what's in
because
between
you're
your
too
legs.
good for the girls, but you're not good enough for the guys. So we're just gonna make you the referee. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's what do you do? But like I said, I honestly think it's gonna be 4 different leagues. You know, now the only issue with that is there's always going to be a demographic that's going to get like left out. You know,
Yep.
what if I don't know? Then we're going to have like a
The
lesbian and gay
non-binary,
league,
the
or like
non-binary, the non-binary league, the ones, or not the people who see themselves as non-binary, who don't consider themselves as having a gender. You know,
yeah. I mean,
that's going to become, not now, because that's definitely the smallest of the groups, but eventually all groups grow. All groups grow. So
yeah,
eventually that may become an issue. Not
yeah.
10
Is
years,
that a
but in 20 or 30, yeah.
big community, non-binary community?
I I'm not a member of it, so I don't know.
I don't know either. That's
So
the
I
thing. Like,
don't
we need to get one of these on the show. Like, yo, so where do you shop?
actually, and that's the thing. I would like to ask a person who's non-binary, who
Right.
how.
And keep in mind, I'm not like
Yeah, we're
laughing
not
to
trying to
make
pick.
fun.
Honestly
I
want to
just have
know.
a yeah, exactly. I just smile and chuckle a lot, but I don't mean any type of disrespect. If anyone's listening, that's either non-binary, transgender, or whatever. I'm more curious than anything. Um, but yeah, it's definitely gonna. I mean, we could start with a 4 league. I mean, because that's how women's sports kind of started, right? It was just a men's league and
It
everything,
was
and
just a
then
men's league, and then
women came
women's
around. I said women
branched
came
off.
around, but no, they didn't come around. But then women's sports started, and the whole Title IX thing, and um, yeah, I mean, I would honestly be okay with that. Like, I can see like 1,000 years in the future from now where there's like 40 different, gender leagues, like some Star Wars shit, where you just got a whole bunch of different, they have their own.
Eventually, I don't know how long sex is going to play a part
Yeah,
of sports. I don't think it's going to be a forever thing.
I don't either. And the reason, and I think like, I think what would change that, I think there'll be more sports invented that strength and speed and everything that we base it on today won't even matter.
Yeah,
It'll be more like knowledge based sports. And I feel like thinking about it now, you're like, oh, that's kind of boring. That's not gonna be entertaining. But I feel like eventually it'll be a way to figure it out. There'll be
yeah.
VR sports, virtual reality sports, to where it doesn't matter how strong you are. It's more of a strategic play.
Doesn't even matter. I mean, and this is not to say you should not uh show your identity, because I do not shield your identity, because you are who you are. And you should be allowed to
Exactly.
show who you are. But in virtual reality, you don't have to be anyone. You can be an elephant for all you care. You can be whatever you want to be
Mm-hmm.
in virtual reality. So then people who may not want to put themselves out there like that now have an opportunity to compete, because
Yeah.
there's going to be, just like there's in black and white, there's some black people who date white people who don't let it known to date white people. It's
Right.
it's something that in their community, it's like, no, I don't do that. But when they leave their community or go wherever they want to go, their
Right.
girlfriend's white, or and vice versa. It happens, especially in the
Right.
South. Those things happen. And this is going to be the same type of thing, I would think.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
takes time. It takes time. People get used to. How people are. Something out of that they're not used to or comfortable with. They automatically. I mean, that's just a rule of thumb. Change is hard to accept sometimes, and it's just
can't.
no, I don't want to do it. But like it's making progress, and everything's like I said, it takes a little bit of time. But what sucks on the article, at least it's difficult when and I'm not dogging DeSantis or anything like that, or any type of or any governor, but when you're at that level of your upper office, whether you're governor, president, or mayor, and you make these type of like decisions for everybody in your state or in your city, then it's like, that's a huge obstacle to get over if you're trying to make any type of progression, instead of they just put this bill into law to stop this, instead of like really trying to figure it out. But nobody wants to be the guy to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
If I can just say
And
no, I'm
that,
just saying no.
and people, and that's another thing online. People are saying a lot of common sense should go into this, and this should just be a common sense law. But it's
Yeah.
not a common sense law because everyone has a kid. Every trans person, trans female, trans male, non-binary, whatever, is someone's kid.
Yeah.
And even not even, and parents want their kids to be as active and as fleshed out as possible.
Right.
And sports facilitates this. So I don't care. My son hasn't told me one way or another, but if my son was gay or if he was trans or whatever, or my daughter, at the end of the day, my whole standpoint is okay, that's who you are.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that defines what you can only do. Go do everything in the world possible. Go play sports. Go to Paris. Go to whatever you want to.
Exactly. Be that
Live your
change that
life.
people want to see.
Yeah.
Well, at least I want to see.
So, and that's all, and that's what you want for your kids. So sit there and say that this is just an easy answer thing just because he signed an act or a bill is wrong. There's no easy answer to this. Every person wants their kids to succeed. Male, female, trans male, whatever. You want your kids to succeed, and you want their opportunities to be there for them.
Exactly. And it's, like I said, until it happens like to one of your children or somebody you care about or know, then your eyes kind of open up a little bit, okay, maybe we should look into this more. And like I said, they just need a bigger stage, a bigger community and a bigger voice, and things can change. But until then, what can you do? What can you do?
That's true.
Ball out, baby. Mm-hmm. All right. What did we have something else? I kind of forgot. I didn't forget. But...
we have what the Florida, but we have TMZ fairness and news, or we can talk about your COVID 1 year for COVID.
Oh yeah, 1 year today. Nah, forget that. I don't forget that. I try to remember the COVID holiday. Now think about it. All right, so let's run through that TMZ. So what we got real quick? TMZ fairness.
All right, let's run through TMZ real quick. So TMZ, as you know, they're the first ones to put out any entertainment news. They're always like the first ones out there, entertainment news, and they're even starting to get in the political arena about getting their news out there as well. But at the same time, they've also been one of the biggest news organizations out there to get stories wrong.
Very true.
Case in point, Kylie Jenner. Last week,
my favorite. I'm just kidding. My favorite Jenner.
Clapped back at TMZ for posting a story that said that Kylie and her ex were now back together, but in an open relationship. Basically saying, yeah, you love him, but you can do what he wants. You can too. Kylie, and notice that we never talk about the Jenners or any of that on here, but it's just a case in point. Kylie then said, you need to get your story right, TMZ, because that is not the case. That is not what's going on whatsoever. And that has not been the only time that's happened in the last year. And last year, it's happened quite a few times.
Now, do you get penalized? Yes. Do you get penalized for that? Like, I mean, I guess they can sue you, right?
They can sue you, but mainly they just want to get a retraction because with any news story, fake or otherwise, once you put it out there, it's out there. And until someone can really prove it wrong, then the story is going to be seen through until later on, until it's proven otherwise. Just like the whole
but you should be guilty. Like, they should be like, I mean, they should have like it should be a huge fucking penalty for putting out like fake information.
It should,
especially if it's about like someone that can affect their livelihoods, I guess.
It should be. I mean, if you go to TMZ right now, you'll see stories. Right now, they're talking about Derek Chauvin saying the prosecutors want 30 years. Yeah, they probably do, but that's any prosecutor is going to want the maximum, most likely the maximum for the defendant of a case, especially in a case that involves the death of someone.
Right.
So you have those, but then you have things like, oh, Bam Margera sent death threats to the Jackass director, restraining order granted. Now, how much truth of that do we really know? We don't know. We don't. And it's things like that.
Yeah, like who was following? Like someone had to be like, a jackass or whatever, the director. Like he had to just tell TMZ that, like, yo, by the way, Bam Margera's been sending me death threats. In case y'all want to post it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know we're getting all this information from TMZ, so don't sue us in TMZ. As far as we're concerned, this is all allegedly.
I don't care. You can sue me all you want. You're not gonna get anything. I'm just kidding. You might get something.
But it's just that all this comes. How does TMZ get away with this? We've used it for
freedom of speech, right?
I don't think they pay. I know they pay for their stories, which is something that most of the news organizations do not do. They do pay for their stories often. Now, I'm not going to say for every story, but I've, allegedly that they pay for their stories, which is allegedly out there. I don't know. Maybe this is where fake news is catching its seat. Maybe that's where it come from, is because that, hey, you have stations out there that never print a retraction, never say they are wrong, and yet they're still putting out BS stories, some true, some not true, and no one's suing them. No one's taking to the cleaners about it. No one's is on Twitter saying, "Oh, you're wrong." The thing about Kylie, it was a blurb, and had she not been as phenomenally popular as she is in her own age group, the story wouldn't have gotten any traction. And it's not the first story; it's other stories that, TMZ was wrong, but oh well, like the Kanye West story.
Yeah.
When they first reported that Kanye West, went off inside the studio and all that happened. First it said that they said nothing regarding that, what Kanye West said after the fact of it was in regards to his
what?
To slaves, to how slaves being immigrated, how slaves immigrated.
They just misconstrued what he said and tried to make it seem like,
and they cut off the end. So, and that was never put out there. They never showed the rest. It wasn't until Kanye West being Kanye West, put out everything that the story wasn't known. And
why can't they just I would hate to have to go on Twitter and that's not true. That's not true. I didn't say that. Just have to filter, have to go through everything that's been accused and just nope, didn't say that. That's a fucking lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That is true, by the way. Some stuff got to be true. But
it's just, you would think that a multi-million-dollar news organization, even if it is seen as a news tabloid, would have to have more,
be more legitimate. Yeah.
Be more legitimate. Yeah.
But it's a rat. In the reporting. This day and age, it's a rat race. It's not even who is telling the truth, it's who can put the news out first. Whether it's true or not. It's you first, doesn't matter. And even if you find out the truth later. Yeah, even if you find out the truth later, it's you get way more publicity and clicks and links and likes and all this crap just by just being first. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. We'll see how this goes, but I don't know. It's almost the norm at this point.
They're here to stay. I'm just surprised there's not another TMZ out there. That's what.
It should be a TMZ for TMZ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How come it's not a TMZ for journalists? So and so journalist is bullshit and he lying. I know,
right? I mean, hey, Lester Hope, we saw you coming out of that bodega or something.
There needs to be legitimately I'm surprised celebrities don't donate to a legitimate news outlet that not only corrects misinformation but goes after people who intentionally put out lies about, you know what I mean? PIs, basically private investigators, but they work for celebrities to. But then again, celebrities probably like the misinformation,
So I mean, some what to say. Not all advertising, not all bad advertising is bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I would just hire an assassin. I would literally post on my Twitter, listen, this goes out to all news outlets. If you ever post anything that's misinformation about me, I will hire an assassin to do assassin stuff. Can't say kill you because then you're in trouble, but do assassin stuff. Oh man. All right. You ready for what You ready for what to Florida? I'm gonna bit my tongue off.
Let's jump into what to Florida. Already.
By the way,
tonight are you ready?
I'm ready, but before you start, tonight is for me and Paige. It's date night, and I'm trying to figure out like we want to go to like a rooftop type bar, but I'm not really a big fan. And she's not. Hopefully, she's not listening now, but she probably listens to this later. I'm not a huge fan of rooftop bars, but I agreed to it.
You're not a fan of rooftop bars? Why? They're fun. You got the breeze up there.
Breeze start raining on you, and you got to pay extra just so you can see the. I mean, and the views are usually like people houses, and you realize how dirty the neighborhood. I'm kidding. No, I'm saying, but like it's just
I don't even know where a rooftop bar is in Tampa. To be quite honest,
it's a couple, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I'll let you know afterwards how it went, but I'm looking for a decently. Not when I say rooftop, I mean I prefer like just 2 stories. I'm not really trying to be like 10 stories in the air, and I'm
That's
drinking.
What I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to see, like in Virginia Beach, there's a couple rooftop bars, but the biggest one is on top of the in that hotel I stayed at. Anyway, I stayed in one of the suites in the hotel. Anyway, the bar was literally like right above, like one fly up. But it was nice. It was rooftop. It's one of the biggest ones out there, and I had a blast. They even had a pool up there. It was great. Oh yeah, it was great. But then it started raining, so I did have to go downstairs just for like 5-10 minutes. But that's all it took. 5-10 minutes. Came back up. Party was back on. All right. I like rooftop bars, but at the same time, they are a little restrictive because you can't just like leave that bar and go to another bar easily.
Yeah, you got to take the elevator steps downstairs.
Yeah,
like you can't get like super drunk on a rooftop bar. Two reasons. First reason, obviously, you probably can fall off the side. Second reason, you probably can fall down the steps coming back down.
You're gonna probably fall down the steps. I mean, that part's true. You're gonna fall down.
And then and the third reason, if you're taking an elevator, that you get nauseated. You're going up and down. So get it. Anyway, continue. Go ahead.
I got super drunk on the rooftop bar, but like I said, my room was literally the nest. Like that. I mean, literally, you came off the elevator. I was 2 doors that way from the elevator, so I was good.
Can't do it.
All right, let's get ready for what the floor. All right. Those of you watching and listening, what the Florida, all you got to do is pick where the story happened: North Florida, Middle Florida, South Florida. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Born ready.
All right. First story.
Yeah. Why do people say born ready? That's probably like, no, you weren't. You were probably your most vulnerable when you were born. You're probably the least ready. You know what I mean? Born ready. Anyway, continue.
Technically, you are born ready though, because I mean, no matter what you do, you gotta be ready for it. Even if you're not ready for it, you still gotta be ready for it. I mean, that's just life. It's gonna throw your curveball.
Oh, how about like lived ready? I don't know. Aged ready. Now ready.
Aged ready.
Experienced ready. Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm going with the aged ready.
Well, I tell you who wasn't ready. This Florida woman who likes her tomato the correct thickness on her Burger King sandwich. That's who wasn't ready. That's the name of the story. Florida woman likes her tomato in the correct thickness.
Okay.
This story is coming from Where TV, ABC. You don't know where that's at, so that's why I said where it's from. A 77-year-old Florida woman faces a felony battery charge after police say she threw a burger at a Burger King employee before calling her several racial slurs.
She threw a burger at the employee?
Oh, yeah. Are you surprised though?
I don't know. That she might be lying. Like, I mean, like, I'm just trying to, like, when I hear stories like that, I'm just trying to picture like the situation. Hey, can I get a cheeseburger? And that's it. Okay, cool. Pull up to the window. And then you say the N-word to you, like, like, what just happened? What happened between your order and you get the food? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So here's the story. Judith Ann Black was not satisfied with a Whopper sandwich she had ordered and yelled at an employee at a Burger King restaurant, according to her police report. The employee told Black that she could help her if she would stop yelling, and then turned around. That's when Black chucked her Whopper at the employee, hitting her in the back just below her neck, before directing several racial slurs and other profanities against the employee, who is Black. The story from the witnesses at the restaurant matched what police saw on surveillance video that Judith Black threw the burger at the employee. The storage manager, along with workers and customers, confirmed to police that Black had used multiple racial slurs directed at the Black employee. You're the Black, and her husband then left the restaurant and drove away. Witnesses took down the license plate number of the truck in which Black was leaving. Police were able to track her down so and funny. Arrest her.
That's her last name.
Police say that Black was read her Miranda rights and she agreed to speak with them about the incident. The police report states, post Miranda, she stated that she was upset about the thickness of the tomato on her sandwich and she confronted the victim at the counter. She stated that she was angry that the victim was not fixing the issue and that she had the burger in my hand and tossed it at her.
All right. Fair enough. I guess that's the reason enough. That's why I don't eat fast food.
And this so people and this so people understand that this is now a charge. Black also admitted to using racial slurs, police say. Because she used racial slurs, Black is facing a felony charge of evidencing prejudice while committing an offense instead of a misdemeanor battery charge. So
bro, why do they have to
use racial slurs when you're going after somebody? It's a felony here in Florida, apparently. Just saying. Just saying. I actually like that law. That's actually a good law. I just got to remember that law. That's story 1.
All right.
Story 2. What do you see the picture of this woman?
Black said.
All right. So apparently this guy is having a really bad day. Florida man, German Bosk, who managed to become Florida's worst cop, was just fired for misconduct for the 7th time.
What? How many times?
7. This is the 7th time being fired for misconduct.
How do you,
yeah.
How do you get hired? Yeah. How do you get rehired? Is he firing himself? Is he like the owner and he's just like, you know what? For tax purposes, I have to fire myself 7 times the past 7 years.
I'm telling you, man. A Florida police sergeant has been fired after allegedly conspiring to cover for a colleague who failed to secure an October crime scene, marking the 7th time the lawman has been terminated for misconduct and criminal behavior, officials said Friday. The city, that's all I'm going to say, terminated the employment of Sergeant German Bosk this week after an internal review.
His name is
German Bosk. Yeah.
I mean, that's not a terrible name to have, but I can't talk shit because my name is Serak, so me talking shit about other people's names, it's like I can never, and I want to so bad because I have so much I have to say, but whatever. German.
This week, after an internal review found he engaged a subordinate officer to create a false police report and failed to secure a firearm at a crime scene. Last October, the city manager, John Pate, told the Daily Beast after the officer discovered the gun was missing and replaced it with a phony plastic version. Boss was caught on a body camera yelling at his subordinate, who appeared to have failed to secure the scene, before coaching him on how to conceal the truth.
All right. So this is how you get away with murder. That's pretty much what he said. This is how you get away with shady shit. Oh my God.
This is his statement. It's sad because I love policing, Boss told the news network on Wednesday night about his termination. I don't like corrupt cops. I hate it when I'm portrayed as a dirty cop who slipped through the cracks.
I know I was caught on video, but with technology these days, that could have been anybody.
The lawyer representing Boss, Andrew Axelrod, told the Daily Beast that his client denies any wrongdoing and insists they plan to fight for his reinstatement. So this is
again
go down.
Fight for his reinstatement again.
The firing marks a 7-time Boss, once dubbed Florida's worst cop, has been fired during his 28 years at the police department, with alleged violations ranging from excessive force, stealing from suspects, and misuse of police firearms. He has also been arrested and cleared 3 times.
I can't wait to know where this is at, because I'm never going there.
The bombshell report The Bumster report in the Tribune detailed more than 40 internal affairs complaints against the sergeant, noting that 16 were for excessive force or battery. Most recently, Boss was found guilty of false imprisonment and witness tampering in 2014 after he allegedly illegally handcuffed a man trying to file a complaint against him. While he was sentenced to 364 days in jail, he did not serve any time, and yet he was still a cop. How?
Oh, he froze.
Yeah.
I can see you. Why he was sentenced to what?
Oh, he was sentenced to 364 days in jail. He did not serve any time.
Must be nice.
In 2016, the appeals court overturned the witness tampering conviction after a judge ruled prosecutors failed to turn over police records to Boss defense during his June 2014 trial.
This has to be like in like one of those like towns where the population is like 17. So he's also like the sheriff, but he's also like the judge. He's also like the county clerk, and he's like he has like 8 different hats he has to wear. So he's like firing himself, sentencing himself just for record, but then like not go to, you know what I mean? Like he's like in his own little Sims world that he's in control of right now, which is great. But oh my gosh,
he's winning somehow.
Yeah, he is
somehow. How do you? I don't even get it.
Oh man.
And the only reason why, anyway, the only reason why he got his job back was because it was overturned.
Yeah, but he was probably the lawyer.
But he was still guilty. Whatever.
He was a prosecutor and a defense attorney at the same time. It's like guilty. No, not guilty. Like, all right, defense arrest.
he was something. Last story. This man decided to have some fun with some White Claws. Florida man, Lawrence, Florida, goes on burglary spree. Throws all the White Claws in retention pond. Here's the story. White Claws, scissors, and more stolen in multi-business burglary spree. Police have arrested a man involved in a spree of burglaries which took place at various local businesses Sunday morning. According to police, Lawrence Franklin King, Florida, went into the back area of the Green Catch, opened the freezer, and threw all the White Claw alcoholic beverages and beers in the retention pond behind the business. Total value was approximately $600. Florida walked to the Massey barbershop, broke a side window, entered the business, and took a set of clippers, charging stand, and OTM wireless earbuds. He then walked to Lisa's barbershop and broke the front glass door. Once inside, he stole 5 clippers and 2.
What do he got against barbershop?
At $1,000. That's what I'm warning. He's not done. Next, Florida proceeded to Carpet and Floor Source, where he broke a side window, made entry, but nothing is reported missing at this time. I guess his hands were full at that point. He walked to Living Foods Bakery and Cafe, where he broke a side door, glass windows to make entry, and stole approximately $800 worth of jackets, cash, coins, cash bags, and keys. A pair of antique scissors from Lisa's barbershop was located in the carport of this business.
Damn, he must have some big ass pockets.
The spree traveled to a veterinary clinic where he broke a window on the west side of the business, which triggered the alarm. Nothing was reported missing at this time. Keys and a bag of coins were located in the dumpster of the business that belonged to Farm Fresh. Oh my God. Florida broke into the shed located in the backyard of Cat Rescue, where he took a cat warmer, and animal pain medications and syringes. Early Sunday morning, the police officer Thomas Delinsky responded to a report that someone pulled off a homeowner's Ring camera doorbell. The homeowner positively identified Florida, his neighbor, as a suspect. Florida was still wearing the same clothes that are observed in the burglaries. He also reportedly broke into a truck on 9th Street. Post Miranda, Florida admitted to breaking into all the listed locations. He agreed to walk the officers to locations where he dumped the stolen items.
I think you ever see like superhero movies where like they're fighting and one dude gets punched. He like goes through like 8 buildings in a row. Like that's what I think happened to this guy. I think he just got like because everything he broke into was like in a straight line. So the store and then like the 2 barbershops, and then the vet clinic, and then like the cat store, which makes sense would be next to a vet clinic, and then a truck. So imagine like super punch, right? And you hit the store like, whoa, shit. Then next thing you know, it's a barbershop. You just grabbing stuff as you fly back through the wall. And he just eventually ended up in a truck with the same clothes on. It was like, what happened?
He had to walk around because he had on the white hoodie. He had to be walking around with like this shirt up, holding all this stuff in his shirt the entire time. Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Oh,
yeah, like, yeah, like, I don't know, man. This sounds supernatural to me. Oh shit, sounds supernatural. All right, let me make some guesses. I just got the notification. I said my internet connection is unstable. That's impossible. That's impossible. All right, so story 1 was the late. What was story 1? The lady with the
story 1 is the Burger King.
Oh yeah, the tomato lady. Guy, the tomato guy lady. Okay, I'm gonna say that's Burger King. I'm gonna go with North Florida.
North Florida.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you saw the woman, you'd understand. You if you saw her, you would actually agree with that. But it happened in Wildwood, Florida, which is
where the fuck is that? I mean, where's that?
It's actually in the Villages area.
Okay. So that's not north.
Area. Nope, it's central.
Okay. I'm saying like Villages is north. All right. Fair enough. I gotta look at a map. Story 2.
Next story is the
cop that
German officer German Bosk, who's no longer Officer German Bosk.
Favorite cop. Time. Favorite cop. Never, always winning. I'm gonna say it's south.
That story actually
No. I changed my mind. I'm saying north.
I'm gonna keep your first answer as south and give it to you because it happened in Miami area in Opa-locka, in the Opa-locka Police Department.
Opa-locka, that sounds like a name of a police department or county. Oh man.
The story can be found on the Daily Beast for anyone wanting to find the story, and there's so much more to it. Oh my God, This guy, he's something. Third story.
All right, third story. The guy got super punched through 8 stores. I'm just kidding. He's still lost.
Lawrence, Florida.
Ah, man. All right, I'm saying north, man. One of these has to be north.
This also happened in Central Florida.
Oh my God,
in the Zephyr Hills area.
Did I go over 3?
One out of no, because I gave you one. So one out of 3 is not horrible.
It's terrible.
It's about average for you.
You know why? Because I got the damn rooftop bar on my mind right now. I'm trying. It's throwing me off. And as of next, what's today? The 2nd.
Today is the 2nd. Your birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
Actually, mine is too, but yours is first.
When's the 7th? Monday?
Monday, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be 32 years old. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Get older and enjoy it.
I'm gonna be 32.
Get older and enjoy it.
Woo. Did that rhyme? I don't know what to do. I'm gonna be 32. Woo. No, woot doesn't rhyme with 2. Yeah, man.
My birthday's in 2 weeks from now. So
shit. So good. So I won't feel as bad. Oh, thought I was old. I'm just messing. I'm messing.
But you wish you're gonna look this good when you get my age. I'm just saying.
Look, I'm just trying to grow the beard. I'm trying, man. This is the best I can do.
You know what's sad? I got a nice chin, and yet I still grow a beard.
Shave it. Just shave it off. Does it grow back fast? A little bit. The grows back fast.
Yes, kind of a little bit. But I kind of like beard. It's different. I did
at least you get the option.
years with no beard, so now I get the beard.
Listen, at least you get the option of kind of liking the beard. I just gotta. This is it. I can't kind of like. This is it. All right, man. You got anything else?
I have nothing else besides my beard story. You got anything else?
I am golden, man. I am golden. Next week, maybe later this week. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I said next week, later this week. Maybe we record another one. Just before I got to get another one under my belt before I hit that birthday. So
So sounds good. Well, on that bombshell, look for us for another episode later this week. Hopefully we'll be there. If not, then we'll definitely be here next week. With that being said, this has been the weekly review with Sean and Serak. I am Sean Aquinotorious.
And it's your boy Serak the Mike. Peace.
Thanks for listening.